Welcome back to A Family Food Supply. We're Kevin and Christy here at the Comstock clan doing food stuff. Here we go.
Okay, so today we're going to share with you the meals that we make, but even more importantly, we're going to share something pretty big.
Big.
I'm really excited about this.
She's excited about this.
He's not super excited about it.
He's not super excited about this.
But we are going to be making over our spice cabinet. This has been a huge pain point in our house since we've moved. Since ever.
Yeah.
Since ever. Number one, we have the spice cabinet in itself. Number two, we have what on earth we do with our bulk spices because we buy in like 1 pound bags. And so
it's all these bags.
It's a very cumbersome process right now where when a jar runs out, we have to go downstairs, we have to dig through, we have to find the bag, we have to open it up,
pull out what we need,
and then reseal it and put it back down. And then inventorying and knowing when we're out of something, it's just a disaster. So today, we're going to do some planning. We're also going to talk a lot about how we do our vinyl jar labels. We did a a working pantry tour just a few, months ago. And we've gotten a lot of questions on how we do the vinyl labels. So we're going to kind of walk through that process as we are making over our spice cabinet. Yeah. So we're going to do a lot of the planning and initial stuff today, and then in the next video, hopefully, we're going to finish. So
that sounds a lot less exciting. Planning. Okay, breakfast today is a gingerbread oatmeal that's baked. We did that last night, put everything together so that this morning's breakfast was easy. This way we can get going on some of the planning. The other meals that we're going to
Hold on. What do you think of the gingerbread baked oatmeal?
It smells like gingerbread.
It does.
It looks like gingerbread.
Good. Do you think everybody's going to like it?
I think everybody's going to like it.
Okay.
Except for me. Because I'm just picky. Lunch today is a lemon herb
It's a simple lemon herb baked chicken.
Yeah, it's chicken and lemon. And then dinner, of course, because it's wintry out, is just going to be a traditional pot roast. But this pot roast is so succulent and the meat just falls apart. It is amazing. And maybe a salad dressing, but something.
You know what I just realized? I don't have any rolls on the menu.
That's okay. We don't need rolls today because we got potatoes in the pot roast. We got rice that Chris is going to be cooking up.
The rice is going with the lunch.
Yeah, it's okay. That's a carb. It's
okay.
Whatever. Get out of here. And for you, special lucky viewer, we have the Superman tea. It's that time of year, the naughty elves learning how to behave the right way. And this morning, it looks like they had some fun in the bathroom. All right. That oatmeal's about done. Let's go get it. All right, breakfast time. Let's get that baked oatmeal out. It smells like a gingerbread cookie.
Uh-huh.
What do we got here? Ooh. We try to shoot for breakfast at 7 a.m. every morning. If that gets put in at the right time and everybody's up, it happens. It's 7:15. Not too bad. Remember that planning that Christy mentioned? Well, here's the beginning of it. Look at that. It's the sun. Let's go check it out. Let me show you sunsets. Oh, there's the sunrise. It's cold this morning. Nice. We had a massive windstorm the other day and ripped the gutter off. I need to fix that. It was windy yesterday too. And it jimmied the garland. All right, let's go do breakfast. The dishing has begun. The dishing has begun. Hey ho, hey ho. The dishing has begun.
It's perfect size for me.
All right.
And whatever you do in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to the Father through him. Amen.
Amen.
Clara does.
It feels dry.
It baked for about 65 minutes. All right, what does the mom think of the baked oatmeal?
I think it's delicious. I do think the top is a little hard, which tells me that it should be covered for at least half of the bake time.
Okay.
I'll put that in the recipe notes.
Cool.
But, I think it's really good.
What do you guys think?
Haven't tried it.
I
Well
think
done.
it's okay.
I will pave the way of all the people who don't like gingerbread stuff in this house.
I don't like the
good.
All right, here we go.
There's oatmeal on it
It's got oatmeal in it.
and molasses.
It's amazing how dark it gets. That molasses is amazing.
Nobody didn't mean.
Oh well.
Yep, tastes like a
You
gingerbread
could.
cookie.
You could put it in a bowl and put milk on it
Uh,
and like mix it up.
Spicy.
Well,
Is doing the
Dad's not a big fan of baked oatmeal in general.
No, not right now.
Unless it's like an apple pie baked oatmeal.
The apple pie baked oatmeal was delicious.
It was amazing.
So the next thing up on the morning docket is to start planning out the spice cabinet. Because Christy's the planner and the organizer, I'm going to take over. Because I will make it more interesting.
So with this project specifically, rather than using our pick, pull, purge process, what we are going to do is started a little while ago and wrote down everything that's in the spice cabinet. So we have an inventory of what's in there. We also talked about what's going to get removed from the spice cabinet that we don't need to have in there. And we talked about what needs to get added into the spice cabinet. Now, the big difference with this organization project is that things aren't going to necessarily stay in the containers that they're currently in. And so what I'm gonna do from here is I'm going to list out all of this on a spreadsheet, and then next to it, I'm gonna put what size jar I think it needs to be in. We're gonna probably have a quick conversation about that between Kevin and Harbor and I to confirm that we're all on the same page. And then I'm gonna go through and I'm going to organize what the spice cabinet's gonna look like on paper.
While Christy's working on some of the planning stuff, we got chores getting banged out. We have the leftovers. We're running out of storage containers, so we're just using this baking dish. And let that cool and then cover that up. This is gonna soak for a little bit and then get cleaned. And then they're gonna bang out some chores. All right, we're gonna get going on making dinner. It's 8:30 in the morning. By the time this pot roast goes into the oven, it's gonna be probably 9:15. Asher's gonna help me since he's kind of like me, loves knives and cutting things. I'm gonna get him going on cutting up the onions and carrots while I peel potatoes. We have two, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 pound roasts. I have a chuck bone in. We're gonna actually let the roast cook with the bone, and then we're gonna take the bone out. We're gonna freeze that and save that for making bone broth later. We have what's known as a Pike's Peak roast, probably similar to a rump, very lean, because we have some people that like fat in their meat, and we have some people that don't like fat in their meat. Then we have some homemade chicken broth. I'm gonna use that as the liquid to cook everything in. Some garlic, salt, and pepper. Super easy. We're gonna start by browning the meat, getting that going in the big pot. Once the meat's done browning, we'll add the vegetables. We'll let all that come to a boil, and then we're gonna throw it in the oven. And it's gonna cook and stink up the house for the rest of the day. And in about 7 hours, when we eat dinner, this is going to be stellar. Let's get to it. Coating it with some olive oil. And I'm gonna start with the seasoning. This is where a lot of the magic gets missed because people don't season nearly enough. Once I've got all this seasoned, we're gonna put a blob of oil in the pan. Pan's been heating for a while, it's getting hot. As soon as that gets on there, it's gonna go tsh, and smoke's gonna go everywhere, and that's what we want. It's gonna be amazing. All right, time for that infamous first flip. Whoop. That's what you want to see. Asher's working on cutting up the potatoes. That's what's next.
Freeze!
Dad, don't touch it, Lyndon.
Okay.
I'm gonna yell over the grinder, which we'll get to why that's grinding in just a moment. But till then, the meat is blackened. Asher cut up all of our onions and carrots for us along with the garlic. Kid is awesome when it comes to knife work. So, in the pot. So, these are gonna cook for about 10 minutes or so. And then we're gonna come through, deglaze, put our meat back, put our potatoes in, put our broth in, bring that to a boil, and throw it in the oven. Okie dokie, Smokey. Ingo Coco Omino. I'm taking a nice smooth edge spoon, okay? Scraping all those little bits up. This way I don't scrape up the bottom of my pan. But because the onions and carrots have been in here for a while, it's coming up really easily. Okay. Harvest sifting flour for what?
Anise cookies.
Anise cookies. It's Christmas. So remember that meat we browned? Come with me. Okay. In the pot it goes. It is so crusty on the outside.
It looks.
I'm excited. I'm gonna take some of this stuff. Don't waste any of that flavor.
Hold on.
Bless you. And juice. Potatoes that Asher cut up. Wonderful. In chicken broth or beef broth. Look at that, all that. Now here's what's really fun. Because the meat is in there, this broth that's going to be in here is so delicious. I actually drink it after it's done, so none of this gets to waste. It's all super nutritionally amazing. A little bit of balsamic vinegar, a little bit more garlic, and because I can... Gosh, this is such a mess. I hate going into this cabinet. I'm so happy Kirsty's working on this. A couple bay leaves, cracked pepper. Lid on. Here's where it's super important. This has to come to a boil before you put it in the oven, because if you put this in here and it's not boiling, it won't stay hot and it won't cook the right way. We're gonna bring this to a boil, let it boil for a few minutes, pop it in the oven. We'll go over the oven instructions in just a minute, but first we're gonna start it and heat it to 350 degrees. All right, girl, what's up?
I'm gonna start working on my anise cookies. Start that, I'm gonna add some butter, or my butter. And then I'm gonna add my sugar, my extracts, my eggs, and my buttermilk. And I'm gonna mix that. Then I'm gonna add my baking powder and soda, and then my flour as I need it.
Where are they?
Sorry.
All right, pot roast going in oven. Oven. Oh, 350 degrees. We're gonna cook this for an hour at 350. Then we're gonna cool it down to 200 and cook it for the rest of the day. So basically dinner.
Look at the plan. This is the plan. I'm so excited. My only concern is I don't think we're gonna have the opportunity to do any height, which is not the end of the world. Whew.
Harper's doing some mixing going on for these anise cookies. Nice.
Today, my job is to make veggie rice. And I'll be perfectly honest, if I didn't have a lot of excellent helpers here with me, I probably would go a total shortcut route and just grab a bag of frozen vegetables and call it good, because I'm tired and I'm just not having a great day. So, but because we have helpers, we're gonna do this the from scratch way, and we're gonna cut up the onions, we're gonna cut up the carrots, and we're gonna saute them up in the Instant Pot, and we're gonna make some delicious rice. Now I'm actually gonna throw a lot more veggies in this because it's going to be like our veggie for the meal, and so I really want to pack the nutrients into it. So let's get started by prepping our ingredients. Like magic, I sat down and I came back and I have onions and carrots chopped and ready to go. It's wonderful.
It's the most wonderful time of year.
I have a great husband. Okay, so we're gonna go with 3 cups of brown rice. 1, 2, 3. Now, in the ideal world, we would have soaked this overnight, but we didn't, so minimum we're gonna give it a quick rinse in the sink and let it sit while we do some other stuff over here.
Here's a question I have for all of you people out there. Why on earth does my Instant Pot do this? Christy charged me with damage one day. She comes in, she's like, oh, you must have carried the Instant Pot. And I said, oh, no, I didn't. But like,
right here too.
It's over here, it's over there, it's everywhere.
Okay, so you're gonna take your fat of choice. I've got butter.
Okay, we have to yell over the grinder again.
Harper's not taking my hint that when you grind something, grind way more than what you need.
I did!
No, you didn't.
I ground up half a gallon.
Okay, anyway, you're gonna click saute. If you want to adjust the setting, you click adjust. You can go to less, normal, or more. I'm gonna go with more.
Low, medium, high for the heat sensing.
And it will actually start in a second here. You know what I'm excited about? Once we tackle the spice cabinet, I can start moving on to other parts of the kitchen. One of the other things I'm gonna tackle is our utensil situation, because that's another disaster in my mind. So, we've got our butter in here. Look, you can see it's starting to melt. Saute is happening. I'm gonna take my carrots, dump those in, my onions.
That's the carrot.
Oh, you can eat those carrots.
All of them?
Maybe not all of them.
Were you
My
distracted?
bumper. Was I what? I know, I meant to hit her.
Oh, yeah, that belly's getting big and we got a long way to go yet. You sure there's only one in there? Alright.
I get enough of that from strangers. Do I really need to get that from you, babe? I love the Instant Pot because it's super convenient. You can do everything in one place. The one downside of the Instant Pot is even with the 8-quart container here, there's still about 2 inches of veggies in here, so it's gonna take a little bit longer to saute. So I would plan on getting this started and then moving over to do something else. Like we should probably get the chicken.
Heck yeah, let's
Moving
do
along.
chicken. Sweet.
But that's why I put it on the higher setting, is because I'm gonna stir it a little bit more so that it does saute up a little bit faster.
Got it.
And we're just gonna have to stir it to make sure it doesn't burn.
Cool.
Okay, so this cooked up way faster than I was anticipating. I think that high setting really was perfect. So it literally gave me enough time to dice up the garlic.
Oh man,
So
so good. Did you use butter to cook that?
I did use butter, and I used a lot of butter because I like my rice cooked with butter, where you put the rice in with some butter, saute it for a minute,
and then you cook it as
and then you
rice?
cook it. Yes. We're gonna add the salt. So we're gonna go with a tablespoon of parsley, teaspoon of garlic powder, or granules, or whatever you have. You're stirring. We're gonna add the peas.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be a cup of peas, but we're just gonna pour all of this in.
And then
It was
there's
with
some
the
for me.
baked
Good.
oatmeal.
It's up here.
And then we're gonna add the rice.
That's
Did I complain?
What?
Can I see it for a second? Alright, I'm going to let this continue to saute for about 5 minutes. Then we're gonna add our chicken broth and turn it on the rice setting.
I'm gonna jump over and work on the lemon butter chicken for lunch. I have some chicken meat that was from a whole chicken from the other day. And what I'm gonna do is take this and I'm gonna saute it in these 2 pans. I'm gonna do thigh in one, drum leg in the other. Heavily coat this salt and pepper, fat in the pan, brown it. While that's getting going, we're gonna do garlic and lemon prep. Okay, next up for me is gonna be putting the chicken on the pan. Just in time for Christy to add the chicken broth to the pan. I'm noticing a theme in this kitchen.
Chicky?
A lot of chicky.
Alright, so we've got our 2 cups here. You wanna open this guy for me?
Sure.
Check out our chicken stock labels.
Heck yeah.
Coming soon to a
Store near you.
store near you. Whoa.
Whoa.
Present.
What do you mean stir near you?
Good job. Could be like that guy who did the Sham Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Wow Supplies last checkout of the chicken stock label brought to you by that lady right there.
Okay, can you, I want you to get all the stuff off of this side, because anything...
Alright, they're gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. Sizzly over there.
Breslин's gonna put the lid on.
job.
Very good job. We're gonna push the rice button.
They're not. Brown rice, you have to actually cook longer than rice.
Can't you change it?
No. That's a preset.
Let me see.
You
No,
have,
put
you have
it
to hit manual, and then it has to cook for 70 minutes.
What's this?
Christy doesn't get out of the office very often, or the bedroom, or the den, or the dining room. She doesn't come in the kitchen very often because it's kind of a disaster. So she doesn't know how to operate that.
Mom, what did these two do?
I'm the one that did all the troubleshooting and figured out how to do this. I just don't remember. Manual.
That's because she's geriatrically pregnant.
Mom, what did these two do?
Geriatrically.
Mom, what did the what
It means you're old and pregnant. I could do this all day. Force!
Alright, come over here. Alright, so number one, we're gonna make sure that our seal thing here is down. Here, it won't seal. Number two, we're gonna click on manual. And we're gonna go all the way up to 70 minutes. You're gonna notice it's on high pressure. You leave it there for just a second, and it's going to do that and say on.
All right, Dad needs to do the lemon chicken thigh, but what's Grayson doing?
Gingerbread granola.
He's got butter, maple syrup, two of my favorite things. I don't know, how do you know how much you put in?
Because I just did a little bit more extra because I was short on syrup.
After the chicken comes out the pan, we're going to splash it with some chicken broth.
That one was much more dramatic.
Yes, because the pan is hot. We're going to let that simmer for just a second on a little bit lower of a heat. While that's bubbling and doing its thing, I'm going to cut up some garlic, onion, lemon. We're going to put that in the pan. We're going to return the chicken, we're going to cover it and let it heat and cook for like 20 minutes. It seems like every time I come back to you, Harper's grinding wheat. But here's something very neat. I have some lemons from Azure that are like 2 or 3 hulls old. And they're still really good. That went right all over me. So I'm putting about a 1/4 cup of lemon juice or 2 lemons in each pan. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Your pot roast timer is done.
Alexa, stop. Not a big tech guy, but if I had not had the reminder, I would not have reminded myself to take the temperature of the pot roast from 350 degrees to 200. And then we wait all day. Okie dokie. Chicken's cooking, rice is cooking, Harper's cooking. Let's see what she's up to.
I have made my Anise cookie dough, and now that's gonna follow with gingerbread cookie dough. I have some sifted soft white wheat and a whole bunch of seasonings and molasses and baking powder and soda and softened butter and eggs. And I'm gonna mix that in here until it forms a good dough. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. Hoping it's gonna be good.
Okay, so while I was working on the chicken and helping Christy with the rice, Grayson went ahead and plowed through making the gingerbread granola. I showed a little bit of him kind of mixing things together, and I asked him to stop and he didn't get the memo. So I'm sorry. But last night we ended up cutting the nuts and the oats, and we soaked all that, and he mixed everything together, and it's in the dehydrator. Let's take a look. He has been working on making granola for a while, and this is smelling like gingerbread. Molasses. It smells like pot roast to me. So that's gonna dehydrate for, I think, 10 hours is the timer that he set. So maybe later tonight we'll take a look at it. We'll see.
I've got everything but my flour in here, and I'm gonna crank it up and then mix. I'm gonna add
5 to 10 cups of flour.
Okay, now that the food is cooking and everybody's kind of doing some cleaning, Christy and I are going to sit down and have a discussion about the leftover herbs and spices that aren't going to go inside the spice cabinet, that are going to go down in the food supply room, because I have no idea what we're going to do with it, or how we're going to manage the working spice inventory and the refilling process. I imagine it's going to look something similar to what we've done, but there's a lot of little things.
So I wouldn't consider it leftover. It's more like our stock, our supply of herbs. So when we buy something in a 1 pound bag or a 5 pound bag, it's not going to all fit in the spice cabinet. When I originally was going through this, I was taking into account, number one, how much we go through of a given item to account for what size jar it's going to go to. And then number two, what size we actually buy it in from Azure. We have found that like a 1 pound bag of something will often fit in a quart jar. For stuff like that, we have that. And then for parsley, for example, you get a pound of it and it's a big... It's
a gallon Mylar bag.
It's a big bag.
Yeah.
With that, we really want to alleviate a few problems. Number one, opening and resealing a bag, because that's just a pain. Number two, just the process of going down, having to find a bag. Finding the bags. Number three, being able to always have a good idea of what we have on hand in a way that's easy, it's sustainable, and it's not sending someone down there to take an inventory every month, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. So this is what I'm thinking, okay? We have in the spice cabinet, minus like things like vanilla and honey and some other things like that are little like odd items, and the extracts. For the majority of the spice cabinet, it consists of 30 quart jars and 60 pint jars, okay? And so what I am thinking is, number one, I think we need to go with our current, like how we do things, so that if something is stored in a pint jar, the extra, like we buy a pound of parsley. The parsley is stored in a pint jar. All of the extra parsley goes into multiple pint-size Mylar bags that get labeled, so that when we need parsley, you run downstairs, you grab a parsley bag, you bring it up, the whole thing fits in there. The convenience factor there is going to be huge. But I do think we do need to go with the zip top Mylar bags so that we can reuse them. We're not going to seal them. They're just going to be reusable bags.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's number one. That resolves the, going down in the opening bags and the inconvenience of bags get left on the counter or get thrown in the spice cabinet that haven't been resealed yet. They get spilled.
I've never done any of those.
Okay, so number two is the finding it quickly.
Yeah.
And so what I am thinking is, in the past we've been using these baskets, and I try and keep all of the bags in alphabetical order, but then they don't get put back in alphabetical order, and it's kind of a pain. So one of the things that we have in our food storage room is we have a bucket rack. It's like a Thrive, or it used to be Shelf Reliance bucket rack, where the buckets are kind of like put in an angle. You can open them up and get into them right there. The one thing that I can come up with, and I believe it holds 8 buckets. So the one thing that I'm thinking is, for those 60 pint jars, we do 6 buckets that have 10 herbs each. So in alphabetical order, we've got the first 10 and then the second 10 and whatnot. And so they don't have to necessarily be in order in the bucket, but when you've got just 10 bags in there, it's easier to find, but it's not so... I want it to be easy enough to find, but we have to weigh that with the ability to get stuff in there and just get it stored.
What if we had that insert thing?
I don't think... I got the insert... We got this bucket insert that kind of divides things. We can try it, but I don't think it's going to be practical. It might work with the pint-sized bags.
That's what I'm thinking.
But, like, we can try it. I think just having them in there, having 10 herbs per bucket.
But you have
and
10
maybe we
times...
even do, so that'll be 6 buckets
well,
for those.
but it's 10 herbs. Some of those herbs we're not going to have
11.
1 pound of, like we would with parsley. For example, like coriander.
Yes.
Or curry powder.
Yes.
Those are the things that we're not going to have.
Then they'll just be like 1 extra.
1 quart worth.
So then for the quart jars, we've got 30 different quart jars. So I'm thinking those maybe they're going to be bigger. And so maybe we do like 5 per bucket, which would give us 6 more buckets, right? At which point we're going to obviously, we're using more than, maybe we do 4.
What if
we can play around with it, but what I am thinking is that we can stack a couple buckets to the side of the shelf.
Yeah, because that's what I'm going to say. Put the ones that we don't service often on the bottom.
So problem number 3 is the inventory issue. So what I'm thinking is to do a modified bucket inventory label that allows, like, it's not going to be 1 full label per everything in there because the whole entire bucket would be full of labels. Yeah. But do something a little bit different that's specifically for these items, that we can do the same thing where you circle the ones that you put in with the date and then you cross them off as you take them out. So we have that easy access inventory. And maybe it doesn't even go on the bucket itself because they're going to be in there.
What if it was...
Maybe it's a clipboard that hangs
exactly,
right there.
That's what I was thinking. A clipboard or even like a bounded book
or something.
That is sheets. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're laminated. Something that can withstand...
So I think, like, I've got some good ideas on how we can move forward with that. We've got 1 day between now and when we are actually going to, like, play this out. Yeah, so I think I'm going to give Harbor the list. She can start working on the vinyl labels.
Sweet.
We're going to walk you through that. We've had a lot of questions on the vinyl labels.
Vinyl labels are awesome. Ta-da! So I'm going to turn the heat off and get ready to serve this.
Okay, so we're ready to start working on the vinyl labels, and Harbor has it in her head that she wants the smooth mouth mason jars for at least all the pint jars. I just checked, and Walmart has at least 6 in stock, and so I could order, and they're on sale for like $11 a piece. So I could order enough of the smooth mouth pint jars, and we could have some major consistency going, and it would be beautiful. So we'll see how that works out. Because when you put the vinyl on, it works when you put it over the bumpiness of a regular mason jar, but it works really well when it's smooth. So I just took this little flexible ruler.
Flexi
That's
ruler.
what it is. Yes.
Flexi ruler.
And I'm trying to see how big we want to make the labels. And for the pint size jars, I'm going to go with 1.5 inches right here. I'm sorry, 2.5 inches right here. I think that that's going to give us a big enough label. And then we have our list here with all of the pint needs and then all of the quart jars. Harbor's going to start out by going into the Silhouette Studio and input each of these. We were just playing around with a few of them, and we're going to resize them all to get to that
2.5 inch mark.
If you have a Cricut, I am 100% certain it does the same thing. I just don't know the software. We're going to design the pages, and then we'll show you how to print them out.
Here it is, moment of truth.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, the rice turned into peas.
It looks like the carrots are on top. Just go slowly. Yeah. It didn't. Does this normally happen? Have you made this before?
We've never made this before. All right, well, we're gonna serve this up and eat lunch.
Good. Over.
All right, lunchtime. Here we go. Someone's super excited. So you know what? We're just gonna pray real quick. Heavenly Father, thank you for this food, this beautiful day. Thank you for my family, amen. So that Shira can try the rice. She's been sitting here patiently for about 10 minutes.
This is also another tender rice that I like.
She says, yeah, buddy.
So, that's really good.
Cool.
even being more
Mushy.
moist than what.
Wait, what? What did you say?
Just a bit of being mushy and more moist.
Oh.
So let's
Like,
get a,
I'm having seconds of that. Now let's try the chicken.
How long does Brooklyn have to stay in the corner?
And these go really well together.
it's really easy.
First, can we do our stuff?
All right, we're gonna eat. We're gonna do our Advent stuff at lunch. There's always so much fun. Maybe we'll show you that. We'll
Mom?
see.
What am
We're gonna start with Zayden.
Please move.
What is it?
One of our Advent activities is to open the Lego
It's the sink.
Advent calendar.
We need one candle.
And there's just one for
No, we
7
don't.
kids, so we rotate
Oh,
for everything that we do.
Gun.
Oh,
I don't think it's right.
cool. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the hot chocolate. And I went to go grab the cocoa out of the disaster of the spice cabinet, and it was empty. Oh man! But lo and behold, check out what Shear's got.
Unfortunately, I made a mess.
All right, now that the cocoa is put away, it is time.
To make the hot chocolate,
Homemade.
we're gonna do a double batch. This is double what is in the recipe pack. This specific recipe is in the holiday recipe pack. We also have a few other recipes that are going to be in the December, and then we have another different recipe coming in the January recipe pack for different types of hot chocolate. So all kinds of variety. We normally pull the cream off of the milk, but for something like this, I'm gonna say we want all of that cream in there.
Sorry.
So
Nice.
let's take both half gallons
That's good.
and dump them
Oh,
in
it's
the pot.
under.
All of it? All of it. 1 gallon of milk. Next, we're gonna do 1 cup of sugar. Wanna do it? Yep. And we're also gonna do 1 cup of cocoa, which I am going to do.
Good idea.
Careful, President. That's gonna go right in your face.
We're going to do 2 teaspoons of salt. So this is a half of a teaspoon. So we're gonna do 4 of these. And then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of vanilla. You wanna do that?
Yeah. Tablespoon.
Ta-da! Christmas.
Good job, Elias.
Good wrapping, Bob.
Is that for Mimi?
Yep. 2.
2.
So that it gets in
Everywhere.
the milk, but not all over
There's like a bubble of it.
you and the counter.
There's bubble.
I'm sorry, but
You're like.
hold on. Nope. Just
Can I? Here.
Whoa.
Oh, it popped. One step. Can you stop?
yeah. Stop for a second. Nope.
Dang it.
You guys,
Can
it's
I?
unsweetened cocoa. It's not gonna taste very good. Why don't you take this over to the cooktop? We're gonna cook this up. As soon as all of the cocoa gets stirred in, then we can add the chocolate chips. I've got 2 cups here.
Your milk is
Go in.
gone.
That's what you need is 2 cups.
Just before serving. Yeah.
The milk
Just before serving.
you
Yes.
queen.
Cool. All right, sun is set. Now we can actually see what's going on in the kitchen.
Down.
Hayden.
This is that. Hey, don't film me!
That is some good
Can I be this?
Hot cocoa.
real hot chocolate.
Get back.
No, like you. Alrighty, the next thing on my to-do list is to make Superman tea. Because I do landscaping and I'm a dad, I use my body a lot, and sometimes I have some old sports injuries and things that flare up and just ache. When I drink this tea, I feel amazing. That's why we call it Superman tea. So, I'm going to show you what the herbs are, and it's basically a tablespoon or so of each. It's that simple. We have a combination of roots, leaves, and flowers. When you're brewing medicinal herbs, you want to start with your roots, and you want to do a slow rolling boil with them for about an hour. So I have That and also barks. Sometimes I'll use white willow bark or white oak bark. I really like those. They have good antioxidant, anti-inflammatory properties, but because I'm out of those currently, I'm going to use a special treat in this one. It's slippery elm bark. This is amazing. It gives the tea just this, I don't know, sweet, woodsy flavor. If you could smell this through the lens. Come here. Nope, no, you stay there. I want you to smell that. Like, doesn't that smell sweet?
Oh, it smells sweet and woodsy.
Sweet and woodsy.
Oh, that does smell. It smells kind of like maple syrup, a little bit like.
It's got a slight mapley flavor to it. The plantain is also a really good all-around anti-inflammatory one. I've also noticed that when I drink this, I pee a lot. I'm being just totally honest. So we're gonna mix all these in there. We're gonna start with our roots and barks. Then after it's been boiling for about an hour, I'll throw in my leaves and my flowers. The flowers are gonna be the chamomile and the calendula and lemon verbena. Those are leaves. Those are all good things. Makes it amazing and tastes wonderful. Okay. All right. Not stew. Pot roast time. I can see the steam coming out. Let's just take a look. Okie dokie. That smells really good. We're just gonna let that sit. I'm not gonna touch it. This is the universal sign that this pan is hot. I'm gonna leave the oven on, and I'm going to readjust the height, because there's some cookies that needs baking. That's next. Stay tuned. All right, while dinner's getting finished up, I'm gonna add my flowers and leaves to my Superman tea. I just let everything sit in there overnight. And then I have this beautiful mess of herbs. We're gonna cover that, come back to it later. Harbor's over here working on vinyl labels and such. How's this going, Harbor?
We've changed the way we're doing it like 5 times.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Mom, now
So
can
here,
I
actually,
make
come
a
over
present
here.
for Papa?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
A tiny
Looking good.
Papa.
Anything you want to share about the labels?
Dad, I'm gonna have to go through and make them all a little bit bigger.
Yeah. I appreciate your labor and work and learning how to do the program so that we can have well organized and labeled things.
Thank you.
Good job. Okie dokie. Cinderella is doing her thing again. And
Robert?
again and again and again.
Again.
Because she loves to. So, if you're ever curious if you can do a whole grain, whole fresh ground cookie, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It might not look like your traditional white pasty Anise cookies or Christmas cookies, but once you put some frosting on them, you're just gonna know. I want to show you something neat. When you're working on a project and it has lots of moving parts, when you finally hit a milestone, it's kind of cool. Oh, wifey, come here.
So first off, we went through and I figured out how each of the buckets, like what spices are going to go into each bucket and how that's going to get laid out.
Yep. And the goal was alphabetical. The goal was easy, and the question was how we were going to keep track of what was inside of it.
So I started working on some inventory sheets because we talked about why they wouldn't go on the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And we came up with this.
For now, what we're gonna do, I'm not sure if I want to laminate it or if I want.
No.
No? You don't want to laminate that? You want to just.
You want to be able to write on it. I'll probably print it on thicker paper
Okay, so a thicker paper.
and it'll be bound.
Yes.
And
So-
I'm also thinking, but the cool thing about this is that if we were to have the buckets set up differently, I could very easily print these on the half sheet, and you could put all 8 to 10 on the buckets.
Dual purpose.
So they could be stickers, or they can be in a book.
Cool. So Harbor's gonna finish up banging out some cookies. Christy's gonna go work out.
I'm gonna do one set.
I may work out with you.
Just
Work out. Nope, I'm doing some email stuff, and Asher's gonna work on the salad. We have a yummy, unique Caesar salad for you tonight.
a creamy Caesar salad.
Creamy.
Kevin's Caesar salad. I like the garlicky, oily one.
It'll be garlicky. Caesar salad time. This is a really easy way to get a creamy.
Ow. The salad spinner is eating me.
This is a really easy creamy salad. Caesar salad. Let me try that again. This is a very easy creamy Caesar salad dressing recipe. If you don't want to have to go through the labor of making the mayo or having mayo, you can substitute that for yogurt. This also provides a really good base of probiotics and all that other stuff. Inside my bowl, I have about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm putting about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of yogurt. We're gonna have about a teaspoon of salt. And pepper. About a teaspoon or so of Worcestershire. About a tablespoon of Dijon. About 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. Garlic. For now, we're gonna start stirring this together. Come over here and take a look. It's gonna be all thick. And then eventually we'll transform into a very creamy salad dressing that represents Caesar. I'm gonna do a splash of Tabasco and some more Parmesan cheese. Stir this up. Give it a taste. I like it. And that's it. Boom. All right, dinner time. This is where I get excited because I don't know if it worked or not. But if my calculations are correct, this should just crumble.
Sort of crumbles.
I like it. This is the chuck.
That has the bone?
This is the fat and the bone.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take that little bit of fat and just set that off to the side. I'm gonna take that and save that for Dad. I can't even grab it, look at that. So here's the there's a piece. There's a carrot. So again, it's just shredding. That is beautiful. Here's the Pike's Peak roast, or what I would consider like a rump roast.
It looks like a Pike's Peak.
So this should hold its form a little bit better.
Nope, that's just falling apart.
Well, I'm cutting against the grain of the meat to get the slice, to get that to slice, but it will just, because I want some slices. Shira did a walk today. Harvard did vinyl today. Grayson made granola. Ash helped make dinner. Lennon made hot chocolate. Elias, show the world what you made. Cool. Nice.
And Ash and I got our drones.
Nope, leave them alone.
Now we've been waiting.
Kids got their drones.
Kids got their drones.
Do you love this pot roast as much as I do?
I do. I'm excited, and I'm excited to watch the Waltons.
All right, so let's eat. We're gonna jam and eat the Waltons. Watch the Waltons.
Dad, will you please
I won't call you anything that has AI.
If you're looking for a really nice, moist, succulent beef or pot roast, this is it right here, people.
Stop.
Oh yeah. While you weren't looking, Shira devoured her plate. She made short work of that. I didn't even finish half my plate.
Neither
and hers
did I.
is empty.
Which yogurt did you use?
Nancy's?
My yogurt.
Yeah, I told them that it's for eating.
Honestly, the other two were pushed in the back and that one was out front. I didn't even know it was Nancy's till after I was scrutinized by Harbor.
We do this Giving Manger, but if you're aware of the Giving Manger, if you've heard of it, if you've done it, but it comes with a book, and in the book it tells you to, like, the whole basis behind it is that you are supposed to do good deeds throughout the season, and when you do a good deed, you're supposed to take a piece of straw and put it in the manger for yourself when you do good deeds. but we decided we didn't like that because it brings about boasting. And so instead, at dinner each night, we share straw stories.
You have to talk about someone else.
Where everyone else spends the day trying to notice other good deeds that they see other people do. And the first few days were a little rough, but as you can see, it's filling up nicely.
All right, dinner was amazing. I am stuffed. I ended up drinking my little glass of the broth, and it was amazing. Shira got a few more things done on the computer. That's so exciting.
Breslin, now you have to eat the cookie.
She's been rewarded with her 8th cookie today. It's at least her 3rd. I know of at least 3.
That's Breslin.
It's possibly 5. Zane's got his cookie. Breslin's got a grumpy face because she doesn't want the cookie I gave her.
No, I want. She has.
We have our Christmas tree. We got the Waltons.
That's Breslin's.
We got a Christmas bag. Grayson just brought me. Whoa. Here we go. Christmas in the Rockies. That is not what we were watching.
No, it's not.
Goodness. John Boy Tempers. Oh, wait, we can't read it. Lennon's got his cookie. Elias has got his Christmas PJs on from last year. Do it. All right.
And Mom is starting the show.
She's going to work on some crocheting, and I'm going to sit here in pain. There is one thing left that we need to do, is that's try the Superman tea, which we'll do after this. So if I'm being totally honest, I really don't like closing videos like this because I feel like it's a little unprofessional. But I've totally been okay with being unprofessional because our job is to be encouraging and real. And I am tired. And tomorrow as a family,
Tired.
as a family tomorrow, we're going to go up to the Denver Zoo to do the Christmas lights. Up there, it's a lot of fun. I feel like today was a good day. Everybody did a little bit of work together. I kicked the kids outside a bunch. You got a bunch of work done. Harbor did a good job working on the vinyl labels, and I'm proud of her for sticking to it. So, thanks for joining us on today. I hope that you are inspired to try a new salad dressing, to try making homemade hot chocolate, and no, I got it.
Organize your spice cabinet.
That I was building up to like the big, like I was trying to go over like easy things.
Sorry.
All good. This is not scripted.
But we will be back
With a finished. It's not gonna be finished.
We did. I ordered the ones. I ordered the pint jars, the smooth-sided pint jars, and I saw that I could get the smooth-sided quart jars as well, but they're not going to be here for a few more days, so it's not going to be 100% done for our next video.
Yeah.
But we'll get
it started.
close.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I need to go deal with children that are on the bed. Have a good night or morning or whatever part of the day you're watching this. We'll see you in the next one. I lied. It's not the end of the video. There's one thing we forgot to do. It's try the Superman tea. Smells like Superman tea. Check that out. All right, here we go.
Alright, so then.
Yeah, that's good. You want to know what the secret ingredient is, right? It's the slippery elm bark.